Hi, I'm Charles Calvert, and I wanted to talk to you just for a second about how you can get help inside the Visual Studio IDE when you're a beginner. Suppose you've got a program that prompts you for a number, multiplies that number times 5, and displays a result. Well, you go ahead and you type in a number, you get prompted, you type in a number, and it displays the result, 12,500. You wish it said 12,000, 500, not just 12,500. So how do you find out that? Well, if you wrote this much code, you probably knew this format specifier had something to do with this thing. So you try putting your cursor right over the part of your code that's causing you trouble, and you press F1. That's how you get help inside the IDE. Press F1. And it takes you here to a place called msdn.com, which is where you get all the help when you press F1 inside the IDE. But it took you to the string class. That's no good. You just go, this isn't what I want. So instead you come back and you say, well, let me try something else. Maybe WriteLine works. So I'll press F1 when I'm over WriteLine, and it took me to console.WriteLine. There's nothing here. Now this is typical. You go, none of this is helping. And then you see, but wait a minute here. Here's one of the examples where it says WriteLine string object. WriteLine, then a string, and then some object. Well, let's look at my code. WriteLine, here's a string, and then Z, some sort of object sort of thing. A number, an object of some kind. Well, that's what I'm doing. So let me try clicking on that. And you scroll down and you can read about formatting strings. Here's a whole section on standard numeric formatters. Look at these formatters here. You might find that information useful. Here's one for formatting numbers. There's even putting commas in there. It's just what you want. Or let's just go back to the WriteLine code and let's just scroll down through here and look, here's examples of console.WriteLine, and it uses all these different formatters just the way I am. So look, here it goes O0 colon in. And then let's look, you scroll down, you read a little bit more, and here's the output produced by that. And here's one with a percent, it's got a comma in it. This thing, these N's and these P's, all this stuff looks pretty good. So why don't I come back and I'll try putting an N in here and see if that gets me anywhere. And I'll run it and I'll type in 2,500 and it did. It put in numbers, but it put 12,500 period 00, which might be great. I might want the decimals, but let's pretend I don't. So now I'm kind of at a dead end. And this is a typical process. You found out a little bit, but you still don't have all you want. So when you don't have all you want, the next thing to do is to go to Google, okay, or to Bing, either place, doesn't matter. In fact, when you're working with C#, it's often better to go to Bing because Microsoft, C#, Bing, they're all interconnected. But let's just go ahead and let's type in things here. And what I often do is I type in things like string, things that are related. C#, get the broad category of what I want, .NET or C#, something like that. And then I'm interested in decimals, suppressing decimals, and I can find decimal in C#. Look, here's this string, standard string format things again, and this takes me back again, to these examples of maybe, and then here they put a 1 after it, and look, they only have one decimal place. So let me try that. Let me put a 1 after it and see what happens. And I enter in 2,500, and well, that got me all the way down to 1 decimal place. Maybe at this point you can figure out what to do. Maybe you can't, and sometimes you can't. So you go back to Google, right? You say, I want more. And this is what it's all about. You go in there and you go, I gotta, I keep searching, I keep trying new strings. Well, how can I get the right combination of strings to get out what I want? Well, C# and string. Now format is something that keeps coming up. I know it's about format. And then there was something about commas. I wanted to get rid of things. And look at what came up when I did this. It says C#.NET string format to add commas in thousands places. That's so close to what I want. Let me go look at that. And it took me to a site called Stack Overflow. And when you see the word Stack Overflow, your heart should go just a little pitter-pat, right? It's a really nice place. MSDN and Stack Overflow are the two nicest places to end up. Here somebody's asked a question. I want to add a comma in the thousands place for a number. String.format, is that what I do? What do I do? And look, people have voted it up 40 times. They say, I like this question. So this is a popular question. This guy has an answer which is pretty good. It's been voted up 33 times, and you can see that it's got a lot of good information. But look at this one. It's been voted up 62 times. People really like this answer. And look what it's got. In not 1, but 0 after it. And so we come back and let's try it with a 0. And let's run this thing again, and we'll type in our number and get the result. And there's just what we wanted. Result 12,500. Okay. My point here is when you need to find information, go look for it. Okay? You'll be surprised what you might find. Start by pressing F1. Put your cursor right over some place where you might be having a little bit of trouble. And the other is go to Google. Go to Google or go to Stack Overflow and learn to compose these strings. You know, C# string format. What was the one that finally worked for us? Commas, right? And that took us right to the one we wanted. All right, that's all I wanted to say. Learn to search, learn to use Google, learn to use Stack Overflow, learn to use F1. So crucial to your ability to become a good programmer. That sounds strange, doesn't it? But that's what I mean to say. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye.